to another WCTE PBS is here for you. Coming up next is Live at 5 on WCTE and its streaming platforms to provide updates on communities throughout Central Tennessee.
All right. Hello and welcome to Live at 5 here at WCTE. We're certainly thrilled that you're joining us. I'm Becky Magura, and we have a terrific show lined up for you tonight, all about education. And those of you who know how important this is to our region, our community, our state, and our nation, I hope you'll stay tuned. And if you have questions, remember we're live on Facebook right now, as well as our WCT app, website, and of course, coming to you via broadcast right here. So first, we're really excited to have with us James Pond. James is the president of the Governor's Early Literacy Foundation. Hi, James.
Hey, how are you, Becky?
I'm great. James is, we're coming to you Skype, so trying some new things here. You're being safe and socially distancing right now, right?
We are.
Tell me, how does the Governor's Early Literacy Foundation work, James? What's your mission?
Governor's Early Literacy Foundation's mission is to strengthen early literacy in Tennessee. And that really stems from a vision where we see a Tennessee where all children have access to the resources, guidance, and support they need to become lifelong learners. And we believe one of the key indicators of our success will be the improvement of third grade literacy scores.
That's great. How do you fulfill that mission then? What are some of the programs that you do? And tell me, is it part of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library? That's what everybody really wants to know, right?
That's right. For the last 16 years, we have been the funder of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library statewide. So we serve 285,000 children from birth to age 5 across the state of Tennessee. And in addition to our early literacy mission, we provide a K-3 book delivery program with scholastic books. We've got a caregiver engagement program that is really about supporting our caregivers across the state and providing them with the resources as their child's first teacher. We do storybook trails, which is a partnership with our state and city, as well as local parks, bringing books on trails so that there's a healthy outdoor activity that encourages children to read and be involved in literacy. And then lastly, we do book buses. It's a rural initiative to create mobile libraries in partnership with school districts so that we can give access to every child to make sure that they have the books and resources they need.
That's terrific. You know, we're going to get to see a video coming up here in just a little bit about celebrating your 15 years, which is very, very, very exciting. We have folks watching from all over the country. I want to say a special hello to Darren. You're watching from California. Thanks, Darren. That's terrific. Is this unique to Tennessee? Do you know of other governors who have this kind of early literacy focus?
Well, we were the first statewide program of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, but I can tell you that Governor Lee's commitment to literacy is profound because he sees the linkage not only in the education system and how children do academically, but what outcomes that leads to, which is ultimately related to workforce. Do we have an educated, ready workforce that can be successful in life as well as their careers?
Do you think, where do we stand in literacy? Should we be concerned? What can we do as a community, as a state?
Becky, statistics are really sobering. I think most Tennesseans would be surprised to know that right now, about 36% of our third graders are reading proficiently. And it doesn't get any better by 8th grade. That rate drops to about 27%, which is really low. And we know that those indicators will tell us that we're going to see increased high school dropout rates, incarceration rates. There's a national statistic that says 2/3 of students who cannot read proficiently by the end of 4th grade are more likely to end up justice involved or within the welfare system. So it really has an enormous impact, as well as what we talked about earlier, career readiness, and its impact on society. But I think it gives us a reason to really remain hopeful as a state, because there are things we can do to mitigate that and actually see our students become proficient readers.
So, James, how did you get involved in this great work?
I have been in nonprofit leadership for the last 15 years, and being a 7-year Tennessean, I started having grandchildren, and I realized I had a ready-made reason to be in this fight to see kids literate and lifelong learners. And so as a grandfather, I felt this was a mission I could get behind, and I've been doing this now for 2 years. And we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but I'm passionate that we will see Tennessee rise to the top and be in the top 5 rather than the bottom 5.
Oh, that is comforting to hear. WCT and PBS, we've done a lot in Ready to Learn, which is also utilizing on-air content to really encourage literacy and reading. And in fact, we say we want you to turn off the TV and pick up a book. So we encourage children and their families to not have more than 2 hours of screen time a day. So we really think it's important. COVID has really heavily impacted our children's ability to learn in the classroom and at home. What sort of things is the Governor's Early Literacy Foundation changing or adding that would be involved around COVID?
One of the things we recognize is that kids were going to be out of the classroom, and they were going to need some physical resources that were tangible. And we love what PBS has done. You encourage the programming and the encouragement to get kids reading is profound. So since the pandemic, we've distributed over 2.5 million books to children across the state. And with a hugely successful summer program, we've been working with Scholastic to do a fall delivery program where we're going to deliver 600,000 books to kindergarten to third grade students across the state, serving 75,000 families, and 3,000 teachers will also receive these resources in 79 of our school districts across Tennessee. So, and one last thing, and I have to give a shout out to both Amazon, Scholastic, and Second Harvest. We are going to be sending out 17,000 books to kindergarten to 12th graders over the holidays for families that are really hurting, to make sure that they at least have the gift of reading and to put some quality resources in their hands during this time.
Thank you, James. That is so appreciative and appreciated, and what a wonderful, wonderful gift you are giving to our children. Well, we're out of time for this segment, but we're going to roll to this incredible tape about celebrating 15 years of early literacy. Thank you so much, James.
Thanks, Becky. Appreciate it.
Early literacy is something that folks talk a lot about as being important, and sometimes we lose what it really means, but what it really means is just giving a kid a start that will change their life forever.
There's a lot of homes where books are a luxury, and I think that's one luxury no home should be without.
This is a low-cost program. In fact, it's less expensive than an inoculation, and this is an inoculation against illiteracy.
What really sells you on this program is to see what happens when a child gets a book. The first thing they do is not open it up, is they hold it like this. And they just hold it. And if you can see that and not tear up, you're pretty hard-hearted.
Governor's Early Literacy Foundation. Our mission is to strengthen early literacy in Tennessee. We do that through a number of initiatives. The Imagination Library program is a partnership with Dolly Parton's Imagination Library to provide a book a month for a child from ages 0 to 5. We have a partnership with state parks to do storybook trails, which is really about creating an outdoor space for parents, caregivers, and children to engage in reading and healthy outdoor activity. We have our caregiver engagement program, which is about developing curriculum and resources for parents and caregivers across the state to help their children in their early literacy journey. We have a book bus program, which is mobile literacy units, or basically libraries on wheels, and kindergarten to third grade reading, which over the summer provides children with books and resources needed to promote reading and to prevent reading loss.
The whole idea was to do something that would attach kids to books and have them associate that with something which was fun and interesting and they really liked to do.
When a child receives a book in the mail, and particularly when they get old enough to go to the mailbox or look through the mail and see their book with their name on it, they get so excited, and they're going to take that book right to their caregiver, their parent, their grandmother, and say, read it to me, read it to me.
And I think there's a real value to me, not only in reading, but reading with somebody that you care about.
So it seemed to me to be a complete win-win. It was doing something good for children, it was doing something that would be fun for children, and it was doing something where we could work together on it as a state.
And that's not a Democratic or a Republican idea, that's just a good idea.
During our time in office, I think the thing that we focused on the most was advancing education in our state. And early literacy is such a key piece of that. To me, it just fit in perfectly with everything else we were trying to do in the state.
We have so much evidence that shows that early childhood literacy is so critically important to future success.
Children involved in the Imagination Library program tend to do better than their peers that have not. We're a very small team within our corporate office, but we're a very large team of volunteers across the state.
They're doing everything from getting kids enrolled, getting families enrolled, to raising the money. That gives such great ownership to those people that are in the field and are doing the work.
You have a lot of companies in the state who recognize the importance of early childhood education and want to contribute to improving lives in the community.
It really was a situation, does my company want to be engaged in something that is as far-reaching as this? And the answer was yes.
Our co-founder, J.L. Turner, was functionally illiterate with a third grade education. We've been all in since the beginning. And the reason why is because we see the impact, we see the joy, we see the opportunity it brings.
Governor's Early Literacy Foundation is 15 years old.
It's one of the strongest programs in the country.
We have mailed 36 million books.
The thing that's impressed me the most is that they're having a tendency to fulfill their dreams. The dreams that they started with, of getting to certain levels, attaining certain goals.
How can we take what we know, what we've learned, and use that in a bigger and a better way?
So we're looking at the future and seeing a tremendous need in kindergarten to third grade.
And so beyond just thinking about us as a book program, how do we play in the right space to have an even better and broader impact on literacy in our state? There's nothing that's more important.
I've got a very simple view of life. I think the job of grown-ups is to make the world better for their children, for the next generation coming along.
The impact that we're making in the future is really creating lifelong learners.
It makes me really proud to be a part of something that I think is going to change a kid's life, change their future, and change our state.
This is the face of a fighter.
I'm fighting to keep Tennesseans working.
I'm fighting for time with my friends.
I'm fighting for football on Saturday.
I'm fighting to see my students back in the classroom.
We're fighting for our small business.
I'm fighting to keep my family safe.
Whatever you're fighting for, it's time for all Tennesseans to fight back. Until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the face of a fighter. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Remember, mask work. I have mine, and I'll be wearing it as soon as I pop off of here because we are socially distancing and staying safe. You know, wear your mask, wash your hands, and stay more than 6 feet apart. We've got to stop this virus, and we need your help to do that. Great information about the Governor's Early Literacy Foundation and all the incredible work that's been done bipartisan across our great state to help our children be ready to learn. And WCT is all about that, as well as PBS. And here's somebody that knows as much about that as me, and that's Kristy Hunt. Kristy worked at WCTE as our Director of Education Engagement, and then has gone on to be with the Putnam County School System, which we're really excited about, Kristy, and you're working directly with students. You are part of the Student Services Family Engagement. And Kristy, tell me, what are some of the things you do in particular with students and student services?
I am the district Family Resource Coordinator, and I'm also the homeless liaison. I handle the chronic absenteeism for elementary students. With our homeless students, right now we currently have over 300 families within our district, and we defined those homeless families as the same as the state and Department of Ed. That could be anybody that stays in a hotel or motel. They live in their vehicle, in the park, in a campground. If they're living in unsheltered, as far as the streets or in the woods, they can also stay in a homeless shelter. And one thing we put them in another category as anyone that's living with an individual for financial reasons. That would also put those students as homeless. And so what
Wow.
it's
So
a
you're saying
lot.
we have 300 right here in Putnam County, 300 families that are listed as homeless, and I understand the different ramifications of that, but that's still it's temporary housing, right? If is that right?
Well, if they're staying in a hotel or motel, we try our best to make that as temporary as possible.
Right.
We try to get them into some permanent housing.
What do you need for them? What do you need for these families?
Well, what we provide for them, we help with financial assistance. We help with housing. Some people need, just kind of that little foot in the door. They might need some help with some paperwork or working with other agencies in the town to get them into some kind of normalcy so they're not moving nightly or weekly or anything like that. We provide food, clothing, shelter. We make sure if they need any kind of medical, we help with eye doctors, regular medical things, medication. We do all of that for our students.
Well, Kristy, we talk a lot here at WCT, and you know this about the need to have a caring, consistent adult. I see that as also being you and your teammates, an extension of that for the parents to be another caring, consistent adult for that family. What are some of the other things you do through the family resource? What are some of the needs in the broader piece, not just for the homeless families, but the other families?
The family resource portion of it are families that have permanent housing. And so we also cover those same types of things. Generally, they can make their house payment, but they might not be able to make their utility payments, get clothing, food and clothing are two things that we definitely send out. House cleaning supplies, toiletries, things like that. Many children do not have beds to sleep on, so we write grants for bedding. We have a couple places in town that give us very good deals on mattresses for children, and for those families that are moving quite a bit, we do, if they request, we will get them like a large camping cot. That way they can take that with them to their next home. So, and unfortunately, we still have several children that are sleeping on pallets. We're sleeping on floors. And
let me ask you this: what if someone in our community wants to help? Is there a way for them personally to help? I know you're writing grants and there's other ways, but can someone help individually?
They can. We get quite a few donations right here at the Student Services Building. We have also the PEP Foundation, and many people donate to there that way for those emergency needs, because some of our families, they're situational. It might be a house fire, it might be something else that will need some assistance for a little while to stay in a motel until either insurance or they can figure out something else. A lot of people donate clothes and food here. The churches are great. Many businesses in the community help us. And so we are at 2353 North Washington. And if they have items that they would like to donate and are unable to deliver, I can always come pick them up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Hey, in the minute that we have left, what do you like most about your job?
There are so many things I love about my job, but I am able to work with kids. I'm able to work with community members, those people that need assistance and are struggling. It is so nice to be able to help them. They're appreciative, and it's always learning and growing, and you learn new ways to meet needs and help people. It's wonderful.
And how have you dealt with COVID during this time period?
Unfortunately, we're not able to be one-on-one with the children and the families really close and things like that. So for food, clothing, anything that we need to deliver, we just drop it at their door. And if they have stuff, if we can do it over the phone as far as conversations, we do that. We still do home visits to check on children and make sure they're all right. And if there are needs, then if we don't have them here already, then we make sure we call people throughout the community until we can find what they need.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Kristy, for being with us today at Live at 5. We're going to be back with Jackie Reynolds, one of your partners there at Student Services. And so stay with us. And if you have questions, don't forget you can ask them on Facebook. Thanks, Lewis, for asking a question. Good to see you on here, Tim and Judy. So don't go away. Thanks, Kristy.
Thank you.
Come along as we embark on a new series with Michael Akins, telling the stories of the change makers in our community through their voices. Hear advice from local business owners and regional celebrities to help our community achieve new heights. Together, it's Your Business with Michael Akins.
A new WCTE holiday auction opens November 26th through December 10th. Many unique gifts and PBS memorabilia, just in time for the season of giving. 2 weeks only. Don't get caught making your list and checking it twice without visiting WCTE.org for the holiday auction today. Your purchase supports your favorite PBS shows and programs.
I hope you'll join me for one-on-one when my guest will be Elise Purvis. She left her mark on Atlanta as an accomplished realtor, but now lives in our area in the Upper Cumberland on a beautiful farm and will share her secret to life. So stay tuned for one-on-one. All right, that's coming up tonight, so be sure and tune in. You're going to love that show. She is tremendous, 93 years old and amazing. Thanks so much for tuning in with us on Live at 5. I'm really excited to have with me Jackie Reynolds. Jackie is also with the Putnam County School System Family Engagement and Family Resource Services. And Jackie, so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thanks, Becky.
I know, you've done so much. This has been such an odd year, and we're going to talk a little bit about how different this school year is. And I remember in March when the tornado hit, seeing you and Kristy and so many of your teammates out visiting those students who were greatly impacted in that area. What has this year been like for you?
It's unreal. It's surreal. We are unable to hug people and touch people, love on people, build those relationships like we want to. So it's been really frustrating.
I bet, because that's part of what they probably need from you at this time more than anything, isn't it?
It is. So, they need to know they're loved and cared about. Absolutely.
Right. What is your role with student services and family engagement?
Well, I am the family engagement coordinator, so I oversee all 19 schools, and I make sure they follow federal and state guidelines. But really, family engagement is the collaboration between schools and families, and it helps with children's learning. We know that a parent is a child's first teacher, and we just appreciate that so much. And now with COVID, especially if they're doing remote or if they're quarantined, they're having to do a lot of that teaching. So it's difficult because things are different from when we were in school.
Absolutely. Do you have a passion right now that you're working on in particular?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that. I heard you talking to Kristy about ways that people could help. Well, there is a new platform. It's called Purposity, and it is purpose and generosity formed together to make Purposity. It is PURPOSITY. And there is an app that you can download. If you just type in Purposity, then you would go to organizations and you would type in Putnam County Schools. As soon as we have 500 followers, and we're at 150 right now, so we need everybody to download this app, what we can do is we can put out stories about families so we can get them the items that they need. So if we've got a family that needs beds, maybe they had bed bugs, we can put a request for beds, bed frames, sheets, linens, heaters, clothes, any of that kind of stuff. We can list that. You'll get a notification once you're a follower, and you can purchase that straight from Amazon or Walmart, and it'll come to us, and then we'll deliver it to them.
That is tremendous. You know, I think I just saw a release about this. I think the First Lady of Tennessee is very much involved in that, and they can even find out more about it on Tennessee Serves, I believe. And so would you spell that again? It's an app, and you need them to. What I'm hoping is at the end of this show, you're going to have the rest of your 500 people download. So tell me that again. What's that app called?
It is Purposity. PURPOSITY.
And you know, Jackie, Louis Matheny's on here, and hi Louis, and hi Susie, and Diana, and Laura. I feel like, you know, Romper Room or something, getting to shout out and see everybody via Facebook. He had asked what someone can do individually, and I know we asked Kristy that, but can one individual really make a difference?
Absolutely. You know, we have families all the time that call and they need things. And it's so nice to have somebody that we know that will help. We had somebody come in and they're like, if there's somebody that needs Christmas or if they need a heater, so we can call them and we know we can count on those people to help us out.
Wow, that's terrific. You know, in the midst of this pandemic, what has your communication been like with parents, and what do you think they are fearful most about during this time period?
Everybody, you know, is just fearful of safety. That's the biggest thing. My daughter right now has COVID. She's 29 years old. And as a mama, I am still just devastated because she has asthma. So, you know, you worry about that. And I think just that caring and compassion heart really helps. I think it really helps. We are trying to communicate. We're doing a lot more home visits. You know, if we can't get in touch with families, we're headed out trying to find them. But text is really a great way to contact parents. And through the Tennessee Department of Education, they are putting out Ready for K, and it is going to serve our pre-K through third grade parents. And this will start in January, and they will get a text message 3 times a week from Ready for K. They'll get one on Monday, they'll get one on Wednesday, and they'll get one on Friday. And it's all about things that they could do at home to just kind of extend the learning.
Oh, that's great. That's terrific. And so that's probably one way you can really improve communication, to have that regular connection, right?
Yes. It's so important. And it's important to have that two-way communication too. So somebody's just not telling you what to do, that you're able to, you know, record something that you're doing and then send it back into the school.
Jackie, we're going to run out of time in less than a minute. Why? I know, right? You'll just have to come back.
Okay.
Why do you do this work? What do you love about this?
I have always loved kids. It is my heart, and to be with those families. I can't imagine not doing this. This is my dream job. So I am so grateful to be here, and I love Putnam County. It's the best place to be.
Well, we love you. We wish your daughter well, fast improvement. You take care of yourself, and everyone, please mask up. I'm going to pop mine on right now as we leave live at 5, and you stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Join us again tomorrow for today's show to re-air again at 5 p.m. We will return with a live news show on Thursday of next week at 5 p.m. Thank you for watching.